All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rachakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, the hopeful elect. Shalom, Barakathum. And I'm just going to title this, there's an oil leak in Israel. All right, now this is to basically land back on the lesson I did earlier. All right, saying that there is a fear deficiency, okay, in Israel. And it's the same thing. The two go hand in hand, like oil and vinegar. All right, you have the oil and fear, okay? Now, what I was speaking about earlier is how fear and wisdom are intertwined, they're locked in, all right? And it's not just any fear, it's not irrational fear, it's not fear of insects or bugs, it's fear of the Most High, man, and what he can do and what that mindset comes along with, okay? A degree of caution, a degree of humility, all right? But the other side of it is you know, what is the root cause of why men stop fearing the Lord, all right, or they disregard the fear of the Lord? Well, it goes into the oil, man. Now, the oil, when you look at the metaphor of the oil in the scriptures, it really goes into understanding and wisdom, all right? Because when you first come into the truth, the fear of the Lord is what compels you to come in. It's what compels you to stop smoking weed and to pick up the plow to do the work. So many of these guys, they did have a fear of the Lord, at least a baseline of it, all right, which is what causes you to come into the faith as men of the Lord and say, look, I'm going to stand up against the world. I'm going to stand up against the world, even though it's unpopular, even though there is personal risk to myself. I'm going to do it anyway because I fear the Lord more than the consequences of the world. That's what happens, man. All right, that fear is the beginning of wisdom. All right, and that wisdom is essentially the oil. But what happens is over a period of time, all right, the ultimate pestilence of the spirit, all right, I'll say that, you know, is pride, man. All right, pride is to the spiritual body as to what cancer is to the physical body. All right, this is why every year in Passover we get into the spirit of a solemn assembly and purging, man. Feast of unleavened bread, purging out leaven, getting it out of you. What is leaven? Leaven is really, and most of the time, it's an inkling of pride, man. It's thinking I got it, or everything is gonna be okay. Even if something is small, is not saying a prayer before you leave. All right, to go do your duties, man. That causes you to not do. It's a small amount of pride that rears its ugly head up that you have to rebuke. All right, because if you really understood what the Lord could do to you, all right, you would be in fear for not praying, man, daily. You see, so that's what it all boils down to. But with these guys, that leaven of pride, it gets in them. And instead of them rebuking it right away and catching it before it grows, it sits there and it festers and it festers and it festers. You see this with guys that get kicked out, who come up with these doctrines, all right? It starts with a disagreement, they're disgruntled, maybe they got a point of contention or they think they know better, all right? But then they don't say nothing, they sit there, all right? And they build up resentment, and that resentment is all rooted in pride, man, okay? This is inverse to the oil, because just like oil and vinegar, the two are not going to coexist in the same space. The more and more pride you get, the more and more oil you're going to lose, man. All right? And if you run out of oil, you can read Matthew the 25th chapter, man. If you run out of oil, and when Yahweh Shai has returned, it is over for you, man. All right? It's time for the factory reset. The Most High is going to send your ass back to the spirit world. Okay, and you'll come back as one of our sons. All right. only the righteous are going to be, only the elect are going to be the founding fathers of the new world. All right, and that's what's going on that you see right now. It goes hand in hand. These guys that lack fear, like clockwork, they go off on doctrines, man, the same exact way. All right, they go off on doctrines. They have a sense of pride. All right, like you hear the guys in Sakari, they keep bringing out the scripture about knowledge shall increase to justify why their doctrines have changed and mutated into what they teach today. All right, knowledge shall increase. Okay, well, knowledge shall increase, but that doesn't mean you have a new revelation of prophecy. Okay, that doesn't mean that. And even if you gave him that and said there is a new revelation of prophecy, why did the Lord give it to you? How do we confirm this? All right, and I believe that, speaking in the Sakari specifically, a lot of the sense of their pride is coming from being accepted in these communities that really don't care about you, like the consciousness community in Sarnetta. It's going up against Christians and winning debates, and you build up a sense of pride. Oh, I can do this. I did this. They may be giving credit to the Most High, but in their heart and in their spirit, they feel like they're doing it. All right, and you can tell in a man's actions, like the scriptures say. I believe that's Matthew 14. By your fruits you should know them. You can tell by the way that they act, man. All right, and eventually, as sharp as some of these camps are, ISUPK, Sakari, that eventually they're gonna run out of oil. All right, if the Most High just don't break everything up before that, because acting out of pride is unsustainable. I'm telling you that, man. You are not the author of your life. You're not the arbiter of life and death. All right, you don't have free will. Okay, you have an illusion of free will, but you don't actually have free will. You have what the Most High gives you, man. Most High gives you a little bit of latitude. All right, you may be able to change, decide what words you want to say, but you don't even control whether or not you can remember words, man. Think about that. If the Most High wants to block a word from you, you're just gonna block it from. What you gonna do? So we gotta always move with fear, and pride has got to be constantly checked, man. I'm speaking to the younger brothers now, man. You gotta immediately jump down on that, man. All right, it starts small. It's like not a big deal type of thing, but eventually, just like a cancer, it's gonna grow, and it's gonna start shutting down major organs. Okay, and then you really got a problem, because a lot of these guys, man, that's what happened to them when that spiritual cancer has grown so much in them, where they've lost major organs and they can't go back. That's why that pride demon, it's almost like they double down on it. They get worse and worse, because they've allowed that pride to grow past a point of repair, man. It's irreparable. It's done irreparable damage. All right, and short of a miracle of the Most High, you're gonna wax worse and worse and become a demon. Okay, and this is why guys don't just leave when they have a different doctrine. They end up scoffing and cursing out the men that taught them. All right, which is completely off, man. Even if the apostles did you wrong, which they didn't. Even if elders or whatever did you wrong, which they didn't. Harsh words and rebuke is not being done wrong. All right. But even if they did, how did King David handle the matter when Saul was being talked about badly, man? You see, the man that was trying to kill King David, in a rebellious spirit, refusing to give up the throne, he still had respect for order, man. This is how we know that when these guys leave, that demon is on them, man. So I won't make this too long. I basically said everything that I wanted to say on the matter, but both of these both of these issues are related, all right? And the time that we're coming into, which is sifting season, all right? Like I kept warning earlier this year, you know, the year's almost halfway over with already, damn. I was warning earlier this year that camps are going to get worse and worse. We're going to see more of this, man. All right, this is all written. So, in many ways, this is good news. But on the other side of it, it's a cautionary tale, man. To be on point, you know. And being on point doesn't mean walking perfectly every day and never falling off. Being on point meaning having your spirit oriented towards the Most High, man. Having a contrite heart, man. Being sincere. That's what it means to be on point. All right. Eliminating excuses. All right, and putting your best foot forward and being in the right spirit, man. Anyway, I'll end it there. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Hashem Rachak Shalom. Yasharom.